Greetings, Earthling. I am Xerxo, son of Zarlax, captain of the starship Voxthaltha of the Zebulon Empire. Thank you. You know, many Earthlings are hostile to our kind. They call us names, like Ghoul, or Crazy Person, or Stop Thief. But me, I ignore all of these taunts for the sake of my mission. The invasion and complete subjugation of your planet. There is no need, Earthling. I have already met him and eaten him, as is required by Zebulon law. Before digesting him in one of my 47 stomachs, I made sure to slather plenty of barbecue sauce on his forehead, just the way you humans like it. We're not barbarians, after all. We may plan on invading and subjugating your entire species, but we do respect your customs. That was your first mistake, thinking. But please rest assured, you won't have to think any longer once we invade and subjugate your people. In fact, thinking will likely be made a crime punishable by death. Followed, of course, by having to watch a series of instructional videos. Given that there are 1,757 stages of hell in the Zebulon afterlife, you will have ample time to watch these videos and reflect on your mistakes. Maybe for you, but I take no joy in the complete domination of your species. I am simply required by intergalactic law to read you the terms and conditions of your surrender. If not for that, we would not be having this conversation because I would be drinking a Zartini and you would be a pile of goo. That may be how it works in your culture, but Zebulonians do not engage in your primitive rituals of dinner, movies, and inane small talk. When we see something we want, we form an exploratory committee on the 25th of December to summon the god of war, Xanta. Xanta then creates a list of planets that have been naughty and nice. The naughty ones, we invade, and your planet has been so naughty. Should we wait until you screw it up even more? Relax, Earthling. We don't plan on staying long. Your planet is what they call in the intergalactic market a fixer-upper. We plan on cleaning it, renovating it, and then flipping it to the Martians at twice the cost. Yes, a real estate empire. What kind of empire were you imagining? No doubt one that reflects your failings as a species. Oh, yes. Martian sand is quite valuable in the Andromeda Galaxy. It is the source of the Empire's early wealth. They use our sand in hourglasses, you know. They say using Martian sand is more precise than an atomic clock. Of course, it's all just a scam. Anyone with 19 brains knows that time isn't real. Don't make me laugh. Your currency is no good on the intergalactic market. We don't use inefficient primitive methods of exchange like bottle caps. All of our transactions are performed using ions, transferred via clouds of gas we exhale using specialized glands. There's no need for you to respond. At least, not unless you've been chosen as Supreme Leader, at which point I will need you to formally surrender. What's the matter with you? Are you some kind of communist? You Earthlings should know that everything can be bought and sold, even this conversation. I'm actually recording this on a holotape right now, and will be putting it up for auction this very evening. Hopefully you don't say anything idiotic and tank the value. I will do my best, but this is hardly a vacation. Once the Zebulon fleet arrives, you'll see. Good. I'm glad you're able to see the forest for the trees, even though you burned half of them down. Don't worry. I would never touch anything you Earthlings have put your sausage-like tentacles on. Anyway, there's still some paperwork I need to file for closing escrow on the planet. So, if you need me, I'll be on my spaceship. Very well. Proceed with your inquiry, Earthling. It does not say blast. The symbols merely resemble your language, and it's confusing you. What appears to you as letters are in fact ancient Zebulonian runes that spell the name Xerxo. Zebulonians do not forget. We have 38 brains, each one working independently to remember the time you didn't pay your fair share for dinner. Oh, Mary chipped in, and she barely ate, but you ate half the food, and conveniently forgot your wallet at home. Everyone else may have forgotten that minor transgression, but little brain number 36 didn't. Well, that is an understandable deduction for a species that uses their own clothing as a napkin. But make no mistake, my suit says Xerxo, just like your clothes scream out, "Wash me." An understandable deduction for a species that collects trash and then displays it in their museums as art. But make no mistake, my suit says Xerxo. You're just having trouble telling the difference. An understandable deduction for someone that can only think using Earthling languages. But no, it doesn't. My suit says Xerxo, just as your clothes clearly say, hardly working. Well, the other day I did have something you Earthlings call a dream. I had switched my brain organs to sleep mode when I was suddenly bombarded by a strange visual. It was of a tall man in a spacesuit, walking on a stage, and in the background there was a voice that said, "Elliot, break a leg!" And perhaps this Elliot is a real person, a shell of himself, trying to find a way to cope in a world he simply does not understand. But, given that my name is Xerxo and I've never broken either of my legs, my dream was clearly about someone else. I've never heard of it, and no one has ever referred to me as a verb of any kind. I told the writers it was a stupid name, but they listen to old Elliot. No, they tell him, "You do your job and we'll do ours." Well, now I'm doing the job of invading this backwater planet, so the joke's on them. Before we begin the invasion and close escrow on your planet, some reconnaissance and an appraisal needs to be done. I am here studying your people, and perhaps, if the opportunity avails itself, mate with them. Do you think I take pleasure in this mission? I simply do what I must, for the sake of the Empire. If that means performing the ancient Zebulonian love dance with one of your high-ranking diplomats, so be it. Well, as flattered as I am by the proposition, I am only allowed to perform the ancient Zebulonian love dance with high-ranking government officials. If you would like, however, we can stand near each other and exchange nearby gases. I understand that is what qualifies as intimacy among your species. Because that is how you Earthlings reveal your secrets. By being seduced, letting your guard down, and then whispering them in your sleep. I've studied enough of your primitive spy cartridges to know of this fact. Then I will continue as I have, studying, appraising, and reading your amazing romance literature. Just because I am not participating in your primitive mating rituals doesn't mean I shouldn't be well prepared for the scenario. Yes, Earthling. For allowing me to stay at your camp, I have decided to generously give you our most distinguished award, the Zebulonian Medal of Honor. Here. No. It only looks like that to your untrained eye. Now, while it is similar to your toilet paper in look, feel, and two-ply softness, I assure you, it is made of authentic Zebulonian eagle feathers. You should. It's only been given to a non-Zebulonian on 2 occasions. One to a Zambonian, who stopped the ice insurrection on the planet Hockey Stick. And the second to the scorched beast queen that ravaged your planet and helped reduce the asking price. What you do with the medal is your own business, usually while sitting with the door closed. But either way, it's an honor well deserved. Now go on, before I get all misty-eyed. Of course, Earthling. Besides the Marshmallow Center? Yes, a few things. But perhaps you can tell me more? Of course. I know all about Dr. Zornhole and his infamous jog. Yes. Almost too close. That's what I said. You cannot correct me. I am a Zebulonian and you are not. That makes me right and you wrong. I so hate to disappoint you, but your hero is a fraud. He'd like you to think it was a run, but if you look at the tape, you'll see that he's actually jogging, and the tape has simply been sped up. Do you think that just because I'm a space captain, brilliant military tactician, and devilishly handsome, that I am also not a student of history? Oh, I know all about that piece of Earthist propaganda. It depicts the Zebulon Empire as evil, the Neptunians as Earth slaves, and worst of all, Blast Hannigan as a hero. Well, for one, Blast Hannigan isn't a real name. It can't be. What kind of monster would name their child Blast? Only a Hollywood director could conceive of such cruelty. The rest is more or less true to reality, except we were liberators, and the colonists were from Uranus. They always are. Meanwhile, Earthlings had nothing to do with the incident, and yet they still plaster their names all over the credits. Typical. Blast Hannigan doesn't even exist. He's an Earthling creation, through and through. The simplest explanation is quite often the right one. The Neptunian media probably leaked it to your press. Good. And trust me, it's not worth watching. The acting is atrocious. The Zebulonian runes on my suit spell Xerxo. They're the same runes you'll find on my intergalactic pilot's license. A change of subject would be most welcome. Normally I don't do this, but in exchange for letting me park my spaceship here, I'm willing to rewrite the rules. I know intergalactic parking fees can be exorbitant, so don't think I don't appreciate your gesture. And if you want to learn the secrets of intergalactic spaceflight, I can help with that too. Simple. By shooting you in the face. All Zebulonian technology is delivered through one's face holes. It provides the most impact. All Zebulonian technology is delivered through one's face holes. It provides the most impact. Very well, Earthling. I'll be sure to calibrate my weapon to your flesh settings. Fine, but there's nothing dangerous about it. Oh, I wouldn't worry. By intergalactic standards, you're about 2 million Zorbits below the poverty line. It really doesn't get much worse than that. Perhaps I should explain further. It's simple. The shot from my ray gun will rewrite your particles with that of a kangaroo and the DNA of an Olympic gold medalist in the long jump. The effects will be temporary, but should be felt almost immediately. Just try it and you'll see. When you have 47 stomachs, it can be awfully tough to tell which one has the indigestion. Premium Zebulonian wares at premium prices. Zebulonians used to molt, much like your snakes. But now, we simply discard the skin and hang it in our closets as a memory of our youth. The gravity on this planet is so weird. My Zer joints, what you humans call knees, well, they hurt so much when I have to stand for long hours. What you call food on this planet is a disgrace. But the alcohol? Well, let's just say I'll be filing a Zebulonian copyright for all your drinks very soon. I could... You know that comic about the Unstoppables visiting the Uxron galaxy? Complete fabrication! They visited the Uxray galaxy, and it wasn't the Unstoppables, it was the Immovables. Tell your historians to get it right next time. If you need any help relaxing, I can show you an ancient Zebulonian meditation technique. It involves heavy drinking and vomiting out negative energies. The Zebulonians weren't the first to develop advanced probing technology, but we definitely are the ones that perfected it. We've got machines that can probe 100,000 organisms per second and serve you ice cream when you're done.